Hey there, welcome back into Occupy Democrats. And Donald Trump campaigned on a lot of so-called promises and also lies regarding Biden. I mean, he talked about no forever wars, Biden's economy, prices. Yet in this breaking story, which I'm going to show you in a few moments, one of the top economic experts on the planet begs to differ with Trump when it comes to what the Iran war is actually going to cost Americans. Holy smokes. But first, let's remember that Trump said this.
Gasoline is down. It's going to soon, I believe, be less than $2 a gallon. It's around $2.40 right now, but and a couple of others. But gasoline is way down.
And perhaps he thought the gas prices would get there because he was about to steal 30 million barrels of oil from Venezuela. Because, you know, it was about regime change, right? This.
And bring millions of barrels of oil production to benefit the United States. The number is 30 million barrels of oil was given to us by Venezuela. That's a lot of oil. It's about $4 billion worth.
And yet, if you really want to see the energy that's running Trump's ego of the papier-mâché tough guy, sounding like Pete Hegseth, Department of War, listen to Trump's appointee for National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, who is now the U.S. ambassador to the UN. Listen to the threat he makes.
I'm going to be kind here, but it wouldn't surprise me if this guy ends up knocking on our door for asylum. This regime is falling apart. They have abused, imprisoned, tortured their own people for far too long. They've threatened the world for far too long. You know, I'm a Green Beret, not my first firefight, and he should be careful with his words sitting on American soil, and I'll just leave it at that.
And yet, what just happened in the key channel waterway that brings oil to us? Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Check out what Iran just did to a tanker in the Strait of Hormuz right here.
The War Department also working to protect international waterways as Iran's military tries to shut down one of the world's most crucial shipping routes. Over the weekend, at least one oil tanker was attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a key choke point where roughly 20% of all oil is transported. Already, oil futures are ticking higher this morning, and data shows China would be the most impacted by a prolonged closure. Iran is the world's sixth largest oil producer, but 80% of Iran's oil exports goes to China at a very deep discount. Goldman Sachs also reports China receives more than a third of the oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz every single day.
Yeah, because in this breaking story, Nobel Peace Prize economist Paul Krugman gives a huge, massive warning to the truth, especially if the war goes on for a while, what it's going to mean to the U.S. Donald Trump and his constant America first, not so much. Check this breaking story out.
Nobel Prize-winning expert issues grim prediction for Iran war's impact on U.S. economy. A Nobel Prize-winning economist has warned that the war with Iran will spike the price of a U.S. commodity in the next few days. It all depends on whether the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, with many financial analysts hoping to see the passage for the Persian Gulf to open in the next few days. If it does not, Paul Krugman believes there will be a skyrocket in the price of oil in the U.S. This comes after Donald Trump's order to strike Iran, with a bombing campaign on the Middle Eastern country set to affect prices at home. Krugman, writing in his Substack, warned there may be too much optimism placed in the price stabilizing over the next few days. Indeed, it's hard to understand why oil prices haven't risen even more, he wrote. Why has oil not hit $100 a barrel? Asked the Financial Times. The best answer seems to be that even now traders are betting that the Strait of Hormuz won't stay closed for more than a few days. I hope I'm wrong, but I expect the strait to remain closed for weeks despite Trump's assurances. There is some good to be taken from the oil prices, though, and that is it will not be likely to cause a complete economic crisis, not yet. Krugman predicted even if oil prices go much higher, to $100 a barrel and beyond, it won't necessarily trigger an economic crisis. I explained why on Monday the United States and other advanced nations are far less oil dependent than they were in the 1970s, when oil shocks did cause major economic disruption. He then added, now we've added a fresh level of massive uncertainty. Bear in mind that this isn't even a war of choice. It's a war of whim, marked by a near total lack of planning. One shouldn't exaggerate the economic fallout from this war, but it isn't occurring in isolation. There are many stresses on our economy, and this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, a straw that becomes heavier the longer the war goes on. Furthermore, if Trump is this erratic now, what will he do as the midterms get even closer?
When people have discussed how Trump doesn't do things off of a plan, This is a guy who does nothing but constantly spend time on social media and watches TV shows and late night entertainers that he makes fun of. It was clearly stated in his first term, he doesn't read daily briefings. He doesn't read at all. Every single thing he does is off of his standard operating procedure since he was a very young man, which is the old cliche of ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Everything is a knee-jerk snap reaction of just what he feels like on a given day, all about pretending he's the boss, mob boss, wannabe dictator, totalitarian tyrant, whatever it may be, but it's just off of a knee-jerk whim. Yet there are real consequences for that, and they're coming to your pocketbook. You guys like and share the video, and stay frosty.